Welcome back to the Nameless Lock Project. Let's take a look at the first stream, and then we'll move into the second decision point. So in this clip, you'll see that the stream crowd selected the Nameless Lock Project as the name. So we're not changing it. Wow, okay. 58% of people, it's 7 people, said leave it as the Nameless Lock Project. All right then. That's easy enough. I don't have to change anything about anything. Cool. And in this clip, you'll see after all of the different designs that we presented, we went with a cube. Cube. Which one we got? Yeah, it's the cube. Okay. All right. Well, we got our template. We are going to base this lock around a cube shape. And it's going to be fun. There are currently 3 different cube designs going at the same time in the Discord. And it's hard to say really which one we're going to go with or what its final form will look like. This is the one that I've been modeling on, but I'm really just aimed at leaving as many options open for mechanisms as possible. It's going to be really cool to see what we wind up with. During that first stream, I put out the call for logo designs for the project. Now, we've received a bunch of them, but I'm giving everybody that got their submissions in on time to tweak their designs and play with color schemes and so on, and we'll present those all for a vote at the next stream. Now, a note on voting during streams. A valid piece of criticism came in from one of the European participants, and he was displeased because his version of what is an important decision and my version were in misalignment. So I'm going to keep all of the votes during streams to purely aesthetic, it cannot be argued any other way, sorts of decisions. Major decisions that are related to how the lock's going to work and mechanisms and so on, those will all be attached to videos so that our friends all the way around the planet Earth have enough time to vote and get to participate. Because he was right. You know, if you're only getting a small cross-section of the group, then you're not getting all of the opinions that you need to do a group lock. Now we're going to move into decision point 2. And I'll tell you, this is actually like the most important thing that we're going to make a decision about during the whole design phase. So the way that I've set this up is a boiled down version of the different lock types out there. Because if I tried to lay out all of the common designs plus all of the tweaks on those designs plus old and new patents alike, we would never finish this project. It would take forever. So what I've done is I've taken all of the very common Tumbler types and laid those out as choices. Now in this vote, you're going to choose your top 4, your favorite 4 types of tumblers. And if you don't know what that means, it's pins, it's levers, it's wafers, it's all the different things that you find as moving parts inside of a lock. So what we're going to do is take everybody's top 4, and of the final votes, the very top 4 will be in order used. So if we can only fit one mechanism, it'll be the number 1, and so on and so on. If we can get up to 4, I don't know, but I want to have that guidance there in case our design allows for it and we get that far. So finger pins are a type of pin that are usually adjacent to the keyway, and that tab near the bottom is about the only part that enters the keyway. It gives you less to manipulate. Gears are sort of a ubiquitous thing. And they're pretty good at transferring force in various different directions and converting forces and rotations. Levers are an older and yet still common type of tumbler. They tend to pivot, and they have sometimes they have internal features, sometimes they have external, sometimes they have both, commonly both. Pins and tubular pins are very similar, but you interact with them differently. Tubulars are on their side, basically. We're not going to get into special pins or counter milling just yet. That'll come naturally, but these are 2 categories. Rotors are actually a little less common than the rest of these, but they are very cool. And a good example would be the magnetic rotors inside the MCS from Ava. Bars are extremely common, and they're used in conjunction with sliders and finger pins and all sorts of other mechanisms to lock the core secondarily. Sliders are a type of tumbler that generally slide, either up and down or to the sides, and they tend to be guided by tracks that are cut in the key. Wafers are another old tumbler that come in many varieties, spanning all the way from very poorly made to devastatingly hard locks. I personally love wafers, and my first lock was a wafer lock. Discs are somewhat like wafers. They're flat, but they are intended to be rotated, and they generally interact with sidebars. Magnets. Magnets can do all kinds of things, and mostly those things are annoying to pickers. They can help you do very cool mechanisms, though. So there they are. All the options are laid out, the poll's live, and it's time to vote. Quick side note, though. If you do have something that's completely novel, original, and doesn't fall into these categories, please still submit it. We'll consider it and put it forth. And I'd really like to encourage you guys to share this with everybody that you know that might be interested in participating. This is the last chance they've got to really get in at the ground level and help us make very important decisions that will frame the whole rest of this project. The later choices are going to be more aesthetic and more related to serviceability and reliability and so on. Now, if you've been following along in these videos and you're not yet part of the Discord server, please come over and join. There's a great conversation going there, and I want all of the best minds in the same place so that we can really hone this thing into an amazing lock. If you hate Discord and you don't want to do that, then please send your best ideas in the YouTube comments, and I'll scoop them up from there and take them to the conversation. Couldn't be happier about how Patreon's going. You guys are amazing, and we've already funded half the project.